It's June 7th. I'm outside my house. I'm about to go on a run. I want to talk about the last week. Last week was the last week of school, so it was a lot of doing absolutely nothing. We basically just played games for the few music classes that we had. We had field day, which was fun. I got to play in the Stafford student basketball game. That was a ton of fun. I dressed up in like my full Frisbee outfit and was like, aren't we going to play Frisbee? No, it was basketball. And then last day of school was, I don't know, just flew by. Just kind of a boring week, to be honest, but all the kids went on to the next grade and ready for the next year of school. I'm officially going to be the PE teacher, so I'm getting ready to take the tests so I can get my certification. And I'll spend, I think, most of the summer just kind of studying and getting ready and maybe preparing a curriculum or whatever. On Thursday, so we had like two like end of the year celebrations for the teachers, and one was done by one of the people who works in the building, Miss Smith, an amazing person who put together this phenomenal celebration. That was on Friday, the last day of school. The night before, there was another teacher thing celebration that I think was done by the board of directors or whatever. And it was just so it was like an episode of The Office, how awkward and just not well put together it was. And then like the next day, the one that was homegrown and done by our staff who knows us, like, was so very well done. And like at the one that went terribly, like part of the reason it was so awkward is because they hired this like apparently famous bartender dude who was coming in and making us like drinks, which they gave us no advance warnings. Like I can't drink. Like I drove here and I have practice and I wasn't prepared and we have school tomorrow. Like, why wouldn't you do this on the last day of school where we might actually be able to drink a little more? So that's like funny enough. And then this dude like starts talking about the drinks for like 10 minutes. And at one point, like me and some of my coworkers are like talking to each other and like chuckling, like joking and talking about stuff. And this lady comes up and like shushes us because this guy's going through his presentation, and we're just like, dude, we don't care. Like this is it's just like so off the mark, and like it's like awkward tension in the room where everybody in the room is like, why do we have to shut up for this guy while he talks about something that we do not care about? Like, just pour the drinks and make us the drinks. And like one of my coworkers is like a recovering alcoholic, so she was like pissed, like rightfully, and like she was just like kind of fuming in the corner because like there's no like warning about this or like heads up, like it was just like happening, and all of a sudden this guy's just giving us a TED talk on tequila or something, and like I'm just like losing it at the back table with my coworkers, and it's like it just felt like an episode of The Office. It was really funny. Well, other than school last week, Frisbee died down because there's like an off week between summer and spring league. I played really terrible on Tuesday, like just awful. And then Thursday was like pod practice for ELDL, which is the club team I'm playing. That went much better. I was playing phenomenal. And then at the very, very end, I rolled my ankle. And the last few weeks, I've just constantly had like these small barriers and obstacles getting in the way of me like really knuckling down and getting into the season of like work and like workouts and all of that. And so it's just been a little frustrating, and this ankle rolled it again where I had to take the last few days off. But now I'm getting back into it. I'm going to do a shakeout run and then restart my program on Monday, and hopefully I'll be able to just go full sail from there. So it's June 21st. I keep wanting to film myself talking more during the month, and then I forget. But I guess the 21st isn't too late, so here we are. What happened recently? What did I last record? I have no clue. Honestly, the whole month of June has just been a complete like slog fest of nothing. I have finally gotten a second job. I'm waiting for the last bits of that to go through so I can start putting myself on the schedule and working. But I'm on day like 23 or something like that of unemployment, of nothing to do, of just sitting around my house doing literally absolutely nothing. I play video games, I work out, and then I have like 12 more hours left in the day. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with myself? And I've not been doing a great job of filling that, like, at all. I think something that really helped me this last few years of like kind of getting myself together was having a consistent schedule. It really helped me with a lot of the like mental health struggles that I've had in the past, and not having school again has made all of those things come back. It is actually, it's like genuinely hell living like this. I don't know how I did it for 4 years straight in college. It's not that, having a schedule and a structure like automatically fixes me, but it makes so many of the other things so much easier to deal with when they come up. And these last 3 weeks have just been kind of like, oh yeah, this is what it used to be like all the freaking time. Thankfully, it's not as like worrisome because I'm like, well, at least in August, school will start up again. But until then, I'm not. Until then, I'm like, holy cow, I need to figure out what the hell I'm doing. And so that's been most of my summer. After about a week, it started kicking in, and I was like, I need something to do. I am bored. I am lonely. I am kind of going off the edge a little bit, and so just trying to find things to do during the summer to keep myself busy. Frisbee is more frequent, but again, it can't. Frisbee just can't be the only thing I have going on, and I do a lot of Frisbee when it's the only thing I'm doing, and then I just come home and play video games. It's like, oh, it doesn't work out. So I got the second job. It's a security officer for the amphitheater, which is a new music venue that opened up nearby, and I think other places I can work at too. And hopefully this will be a job I can work part-time during the school year as well. Just odds and ends here and there would be really nice. Some news is that I found a new place to live in, so I'm actually moving out of this place. This place is nice, but I just rent out the room. I don't rent out the house. I don't know these roommates. And my roommates are nice. They're good. I like them. But that could change at any moment because it's a month-to-month lease for pretty much everyone, I think. Anywho, I found a new place, and it costs a lot less, and I'll have control over my roommates and stuff like that. And so I signed on immediately. I mean, it's like $300 less a month. It's amazing. And I get a room. It's upstairs, but whatever. I'm already upstairs. I get my own bathroom. It's the place was built 3 years ago, so it's brand new. It's gorgeous. It's a very, very, very nice place. It doesn't have much of a yard, but it still feels like a place I could invite my friends over and hang out in. So I'm very excited to be moving in there beginning of August. So that'll still be a while I'm living here, but I think that'll help a lot with feeling kind of more like I have my own place. This spot is nice, but it's kind of an in-between spot. This next place that I'm signing in August is a year-long lease, and so that's exciting because I just feel like I'm settling down instead of constantly having my future looming in the next month or whatever. It can just be okay, now I'm just locked in for a year, and then I can consider those things again. But until then, I'm locked in, and I really like that. I think that'll help with a lot of the other issues that I had been having this past year, where I was just constantly thinking about and worried about my future. I've also just had a lot of stress in life from other things lately. Just drama, basically, family drama, friend drama, but it's been very, very stressful. It's been actually eating me up a lot, especially the stuff going on with my friends, and the stuff with my family is starting to get to me now, and so I got to a point where I was just okay, I'm gonna take steps to rectify this, even if it's not exactly the way I want to handle it. I'm just gonna try and rectify this because I can't live with the stress of all of this just kind of sitting in me. Just super annoying. I didn't even know how to put words to that. I think that's also kind of goes hand in hand with what I was talking about earlier, with kind of feeling over the edge, or at the end of my rope, with just no schedule and nothing to do. Just kind of feel like I'm sitting in all this stress and drama. And it's not that I'm thinking about it all the time, but I do think it's eating me up inside without me even realizing it. So yeah, I don't have any tournaments in June, I don't think. But I'll have some tournaments starting in July, so you'll probably see that in the vlog. I am pretty excited though. I'm having a tough time physically this summer. Ever since about tryout season ended, and even in tryout season a little bit, I think you saw some of that. My body I've not been able to get things going. And when it comes to Frisbee, I keep going back and forth between no, I am actually this good, or I am going to be this good as I continue to work, and then I'll just have days where I just play absolute crap, and I'm not even close. Why am I kidding myself? Why am I even trying at all? I'm not even close. There's no way I could do that even if I got a genie wish. But that's been, again, more stress. I guess June's just been a stressful month. Just trying to kind of have a healthy outlook on my abilities and my potential, and trying to figure out what I want from Frisbee now and what I want from Frisbee in the future. The good news is that I'm not doing what team stress anymore. Like I have a team, and I have a place to play, and I have a place to grow and do stuff like that. And so that'll kind of, I think, help me figure out some of those issues as this season goes on in through July and the beginning of August. Just figuring out like, okay, how good do I think I am? How serious do I want to take myself is really the question. Like obviously, like it's always a question of how good do you think you are versus how good do other people think you are. But I think the reason why I think about that a lot is because it really starts to affect like how serious am I going to take myself, and how much am I going to continue to let my lifestyle be revolving around Frisbee, because it won't be forever. At some point I'm going to hit my limit and just be like, it's just not worth it anymore to me. It's just not a high list of my priority right now. Frisbee's probably like priority number 2, maybe even priority number 1. And so it's just constantly thinking about like how good do I think I am now? How good do I think I could be in the future? How realistic are those like thoughts and feelings? And how does that affect my lifestyle? And how does that affect where Frisbee ranks on my like priority list in life? So that's just some of the stuff that's going on. We'll see if anything else fancy happens here in June. Not much else happened in June. My friend Aiden Williams, his birthday was at the end of the month, so we went out drinking for his birthday. That was a ton of fun. I think he's been on the vlog before, and he's one of like 2 or 3 friends I have here in Grand Rapids, so that's cool. That was a lot of fun. I feel like I did a lot more this month, and I just completely forgot to record, so that's on me. I'll try and do better for July. And yeah, other than figuring out what I'm going to do with the rest of my summer and getting my workouts and all of that consistent and in line and figured out, I don't know, we'll see what July holds.